Hey, this is Daniel Norton. Welcome to my studio here in New York City. Today I've got my friend Mia coming and we're going to make some portraits. So what I want to play around with in this video is the idea of light wrapping around. This is something I talk about a bit and sometimes people are a little confused by it. Light doesn't actually wrap around, right? Light moves in a straight line. But when we talk about wraparound, what we're talking about is the idea that the light is coming from one direction, let's say this side of my face, and that some of it gets on this side of my face, not via a reflector, but just by the nature of the source being big enough that some of that light gets over here. That's what we mean by wraparound. So thinking about creating contrast and shadows on the face, we might think, well, having our light source super close to our subject is going to increase the chance that we're going to have shadow on the side of the face. That's basically how the inverse square law works, right? However, depending on the size of your light source, it might be that when you get it that close, it actually wraps around more and fills that side of the face. So even though you're using the inverse square law to control this, it doesn't actually work out exactly that way. These are the things that we finesse, and it's hard to just, read it in a book and be like, this is how it works. A lot of the stuff you just have to kind of experience. So I'm going to just kind of show you how sometimes moving somebody further from the light will actually increase the contrast, which is kind of the opposite of what you would think with the inverse square law. I want to create a large light source that is going to be soft, but also dramatic. So my go-to for a lot of times for this kind of thing is going to be some kind of a frame and fabric system. I have the Shimera one here. It is a 4x4 frame. It's got the full silk on it. I'm just using a Profoto B10 behind there, just to kind of fill the fabric with light so it becomes my light source. And just to kind of emphasize the drama here, I'm using duvetine for my background. So I just have a black background. This is going to help me a lot. If I put black paper up, because this light's going to spread so much, it would end up being kind of grayed out a little bit. So having the duvetine allows me to put the background real close to my subject and still stay black. Now, because I'm in a white studio and because I want to keep the drama to its maximum, I'm also going to use a V-flat from V-flat World here. I'm going to set this up with the black side facing in, so that way, it'll help give a little negative fill, but also primarily it's there to make sure that none of the rest of the light that's in the space, that's going to bounce around from this thing is going to fill in on that side of her. And from that, we're going to create a couple of very simple portraits to showcase how the light feels and reacts based on how close it is to the subject. Okay, I have Mia here.
Hi.
She was very surprised by that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really simple. I just kind of want to showcase something that can be kind of a little confusing, I think, because we think about the inverse square law and how we can use it. A lot of times people use it as an example on the face where, when you move the light really close to somebody, the other side will get super dark. But there's also, when you're using large light sources, which we're going to use for portraits in many cases because we want soft light, there's also the idea of what I like to call the light wrapping around. Already somebody in the comments is typing that light moves in a straight line. I know, but the idea of wrapping around means that it goes around your subject and kind of fills in the other side. So I've actually created kind of a contrasty set here. I've got a black background with duvetine. I've got a black card here, a V-flat, to kind of give a little negative fill, but also just to make sure we don't get too much bounce from the white studio. And I'm gonna light Mia with a big soft light. So if I put her kind of in the center of the set, kind of typically how you might do, we'll start there and then I'll show you what happens as we move her, in relationship to the light. So we'll start like this. I'm using the 85mm. I'm in TTL. We'll get a base exposure and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to frame this up. This will be, as you might imagine, nice contrasty shot, right? We can see that because the light's coming from one direction, right? It does wrap around a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of fill because they got the black card kicking back there, right? So you might think, well, if we put her closer to the light, then it'll get even more contrasty because inverse square will inevitably make one side of her face much brighter than the other. But let's have you get real close to the fabric. At this point, what I'm talking about with the wraparound is going to happen. The light is now so close to her that more of the light part, the light itself is going to be seen by the other side of her face because of the proximity, and we can see that, here, this side of her face, it still has the same shadow pattern, but the whole thing is just a little bit kind of brighter overall. This exposure is a tiny bit dark. Just gonna make a quick adjustment to that. I'm in Capture One, guys, and so of course, if I want to adjust my exposure and see where it's at, I can do this. Yeah, that's good. I was just watching the highlight there to make sure we didn't blow out. And that looks like a good exposure. I'm gonna look at what the adjustment I made. That's about half a stop. Then I'm just gonna take my light and switch it over into manual. I'm gonna increase the light by half a stop. And let's have you, I think closer to where we're gonna start. I'll go horizontal because you know, that's what the kids do. Right, and this is gonna give her room to move. And it's still a dramatic light source, right? We still have drama, but it is nice and filled in on this side of her face because I want the drama. That's why I have a black card here. I mean, obviously I could make it flat if I wanted to. And of course we can control that shadow pattern, right? She's able to move away from the light, which is actually kind of nice. It shows that, that braid really nicely. Really nice braid. She spent hours on that braid. No, not hours, like 2 minutes. Work your face towards the light now. Yeah, there we go. And then your eyes this way. Just towards my hand and then down, right there. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, see, this way we've got nice even light over her whole face, right? And again, if we step back a little bit, and this isn't a huge deal. I mean, proportionately, it's like forever. It's like twice the distance, but it's only a foot maybe. And we can see that even with this exposure, we're still getting that darker shadow. So if you want the darker shadow, you want the mood, then you want to be a little bit further away from a large light source because it's going to wrap around. This is why a lot of times when we want that punchy light on somebody, but we want it soft, we'll use a small softbox because it's so close, it's big relative, but it doesn't wrap around so much. And of course, this also has to do with where she's standing in the set. If I keep her at this same distance, but I have her back up towards the background, right now, more of this light surface is going to see that side of her face. So we should get, see that? Same kind of result. We're getting the light on that side of her face. So these are things we want to really consider when we're working with our light source. It's not just put a big light or put it a certain distance, it's think about how the light's going to fall. So I think that's actually kind of nice. So we can get more of your body and have it be softer. See that? When I say softer, I mean the shadow fall off softer, not softer light, because it's basically the same. Yeah, like that. And we got this kind of drama going on. Yeah, really nice fall off, really even. And this is a great kind of light when you want to create shape with somebody, but you don't want it to be really contrasty, you know, because it's still flattering to the skin because it's a big soft light, but because of the nature of the shadow, we're seeing muscle tone and stuff like that. Yeah, do that actually. Yeah, there we go, that's nice. Beautiful, nice, just like that. And with the chin, good. Beautiful, good, good, good. She's looking around, she's like, what's going on? There we go. That was a good smile. That was a good smile. All right, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful as always. Let's do a couple more where you just come forward just to demonstrate what we just did. And then I'm gonna have you actually really project like this with the chin. I'm gonna do like kind of a really like shadowy, moody. I'm also gonna put you on the wrong side of the frame. Yeah, beautiful. I like a moody shot. Sometimes I'm in a moody mood. Moody mood. Is that a thing, a moody mood? Might be. So stay just like you are, but then just turn your face and do the same thing this way. Yeah. Right, and now we have this kind of more dramatic light. And what we can see here is the light almost feels hard in feeling, like it feels like a morning window light or something because it has this contrast, right? But it's still soft. I mean, we can see that the shadow transition is beautifully soft. Yeah, right? Big soft light, kind of like shears in the window, which is essentially what we're doing. We're creating a large, soft light. Okay, I was trying to get away with it and not have the judgment of Mia on my photos, but apparently it can't happen. So Mia's gonna take a look at them and she'll be the ultimate judge of what she likes and we'll go from there. So take a peek, tell me what you like. Be brutal or nice, depending on, I don't think Mia can be brutal. She's
brutally honest.
Brutally honest. Let's see, what do you think?
There's no other way. Yeah, I thought you did a great job of wrapping the light around the face. Yeah, even in the mid shots. Not as much in the mid shots, but I'm sure there's reasons for that.
Reasons.
Reasons. General reasons. Yeah, overall I like him a lot.
Are you more of a drama person, or are you you're quizzical?
Yeah, I like that probably more than anything, this quizzical look. I've never seen myself look like that, so.
Oh. Yeah, people often look at me in a quizzical way. It's got to be.
I don't know where to look right now. I'm overwhelmed.
You don't have to do anything. Yeah. I have like 1,000 cameras pointing at it right now. See, I really like the dramatic. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it might be slightly out of character for you. Not that I know you that well.
Yeah, I like these a lot. You had mentioned something about how your lighting setup was going to accentuate the muscle tone.
Yeah.
I feel like you did a great job of that.
Yeah. Yeah, without being overwhelming, you know, because you can light people to really make it like ripped, like if you're a bodybuilder, but you don't want that. You just want to show that you're fit and that you have nice shape to your body and your face without being over the top. And that's where the soft light is very beneficial.
I love this. There you go. Yeah. This is great. I really like this a lot.
You like that morning light feel. Yeah, that's my morning light shot. You get, you know, kind of a big light source, but kind of pulled back a bit, let the shadows fall back. Because that's how people imagine, you know, the light coming through a window in the morning, which is pretty much how it looks. Cool.
And this was the last one?
That's the last one. It's always the last one, or the first one that people like. Never anything in the middle. It's the first one or the last one.
That's great.
Cool. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel.
So there you go, right? Things are not as simple as just buying a certain light and it always works the same way. We have to consider how close it is to our subject in relationship to everything, right? We have to know whether or not there's things that are gonna bounce light back. We need to know if the light's gonna wrap around or not. We can position our subject within the light different ways to get different shadow patterns and different amounts of kind of dark to light across the face. I will put Mia's information in the description so you guys can follow her. Follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer, and I'll see you next time on set.
Hi again, my name is Mia Elledge. Thank you so much for watching this video, this Adorama tutorial. We had a lot of fun making this, and if you want, you can watch any of the videos in this box here. Be sure to like, subscribe, you know, ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.